Hello and welcome to another episode of the Smash Accept podcast. I'm your host, Michael Royer. You can find me on Twitter at Dynasty Dad FF. Joined as always by my main man at FF Snoog and Broc Dynasty because it's Trade Show Tuesday, baby. I'm excited. You know, that first show that we had, actually our best ratings we've had on any of our YouTube shows for Trade Show. That means you guys are hungry. You guys want to see more trades. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, make those comments because honestly, this show just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Snoog, Brock, and myself want to give you the best possible insight and outlooks to your 2026 season. And, you guys jumping in here really gets that going. And Snoog, every single week, it's gotten better and better. It's gotten more opportunities, to answer people's questions. And I'm excited for tonight's show.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, we got the Brock man himself in here. Big playoff week of actual fantasy football that we just finished up with. So the championship's over with. Now it's real NFL playoffs. Kind of just cruising. I know a lot of us on the show know how big of George Kittle fans we are. We took that real hard, and we took that hit in many dynasty leagues, which is why we always tell you on the show, do not trade for players in the playoffs. Be patient. Wait till the off season. So hopefully you're buying a lot of rookie picks on this show here or people that aren't in the playoffs.
And Brock, we started out the pre super chat.
Oh.
Pete Spin 1923 sent both Snoog and I DMs thanking us for the help of their turnaround. He said, you guys are the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. A little Bret Hart for you old school WWF fans. That's before it was WWE, Snoog. I know that, that was a long time ago. That was pre-Snoog era. But, hey, speaking of best there ever was, we got the host tonight ready to get that show going. Steelers are out, but you got that Florida hat on. We're ready to get this thing going.
Yeah, let's kick things off here. We got our first super chat or first real super chat. I know P-Spin had the pre one. This one coming from Darth Twerk. Appreciate it here, Darth. Chris Olave or Brian Thomas Jr. in a late second. Snoog, what do you think here?
Snoog's muted, so I'm going to take over for him.
I said it's so crazy. If you saw this
last
season, everyone would say you were absolutely crazy for selling BTJ for this. It's Chris Olave by a mile.
I know, and I was going to say the same thing. This is why we talk about when a guy has a big time rookie season. Make sure you really believe in that. And I think we all drank the Kool-Aid. But Trevor Lawrence, the writing was on the wall. He's not throwing to the outside wide receivers. I could see a scenario at one point this year that this is going to be BTJ again, because last year we were talking about Olave is one concussion away from retirement, and then he wasn't injured, finished as a wide receiver 6. BTJ the year before was probably wide receiver 7 through 9 in that range, and then completely healthy, but just disappeared somewhere in the wide receiver 40 range. I think it's Olave. A mid-second, I start to think about it. An early second, I'm going back to BTJ. But Chris Olave right now is a top 12 dynasty wide receiver. So it's crazy how this is why trades matter. This is why timing matters. Because last year at this time, you would have probably gotten at least a mid-27 first and Olave for BTJ. At least, you might have gotten more. You might have got some seconds thrown in there. So that's why we do this. That's why every Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, no matter if we're sick, hell or high water, we're here for the trade show. Let's get it going.
All right. First trade here coming from Chase10, submitted through Discord. Got a real popular name here, Colston Loveland, as well as the 101. We'll pencil in Loveland and Love. Got a little double love on the left side. Or Jaden Daniels and Chase Brown. Dad, what do we think on this 2 for 2?
Dude, this is almost as spicy as the new Mango Fuego C4.
You got a different flavor every week.
Oh, I'm always trying to find the new flavors. I'm trying to check them out. Speaking of new flavors, I mean, Colston Loveland is the flavor of the month right now, right? I mean, he's had back-to-back elite level games. He's everybody's dynasty tight end 3. There's no debating it at this point. The interesting part to me is you're getting Loveland and 101 on the one side, which are both hot, right? But then you got Jaden Daniels and Chase Brown on the other side. I think I know this particular trade that he has. I believe he has Drake May, Matthew Stafford, and he's got 3 quarterbacks already. So he's got a little bit of room there. It's a tough trade, Snoog. I'm leaning Loveland 101, but if you need a quarterback, this is really close. This is one of those trades where if I have 4 quarterbacks and now I can get myself a top tier RB1 and a top 3 tight end, I'm going to make that move. But if I have, if I already have Brock Bowers and Trey McBride and I'm quarterback needy, I could see taking a swing here on Daniels, but I slightly lean the Loveland 101 side, especially if it's tight end premium.
Yeah, me as well here. I think it's the Loveland 101 side. It's so hard to give up 101s right now, and especially before we know what Jeremiah Love is, right? Like if he goes top 5 to 10 in the NFL draft, which he's gonna, his hype and his steam is gonna be just like it was for Genty, just like it was for Bijan Gibbs, all these guys. And Colston Loveland's on fire right now. He led the whole Bears offense in receiving yards as a 20-year-old rookie tight end. Very impressive with the group of players he's competing against. DJ Moore, Romadunze with the burden, Cole Kmet, some other guys there. But I think you got to lean this side, right? Like you're turning a 27-year-old running back into a 20-year-old first-round pick running back, and you're turning obviously a top, 8 to 7 starter pick into a tight end, which isn't great, but it's going to be a tight end that's probably in that mid to late second, maybe early third round range, right after McBride and Bowers go. So I like it.
This time of year, Brock, it's all about hedging your bets and when you're buying players, right? 101 is the only asset in all of Dynasty Fantasy Football that is guaranteed to go up in value. Guaranteed. There's nothing there. Colston Loveland, I tell everybody not to buy guys in the playoffs. A lot of guys in the Discord are excited about what Colston Loveland did. And yes, I mean, barring an injury, that's the way to go. But buying a Kittle, buying a veteran was that's not the time to do it. I have no problem with somebody going out there and buying Loveland, but you might want to wait till the playoffs are over this, because if Loveland gets a torn ACL, now all of a sudden this trade shifts to this Daniels side by a long shot. So timing is everything. You don't have to make any trades right now. It's January. We have like 8 months till point scoring season happens again. So you don't have to make any of these trades. That's what's fun, is like you're making trades with a lot of unknown certainties. You're making trades with a lot of upside if you listen to the show and you plan accordingly.
Yep. Yeah. Trade 2 here coming from It's AJ Estevez coming from the Discord. We got one side with Patrick Mahomes. Other side is 107, 205, and the 27 first there. Dad, what do you think on this one?
Well, Brock, I know which side you like, because this is also your trade. This is from Smash Accept 15, which I forget. Remind me, who won that league? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, Dad went back to back to start this league, so we got to all kind of take him down.
Honestly, I like this trade a lot, and I think Brock sent this message to Snoog and I. He's like, "What do you think of this trade?" Because Snoog and I are both buying in on Patrick Mahomes right now. And you need a quarterback. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Caleb is your QB1.
Yeah, and then Fields was it. Yeah.
That's it. Originally the offer was 105, 205, 27 first. And I'm like, wait a second. Like the 105 in this class is still, Love's going to be gone, but you're either going to get Mendoza or one of the big 3 wide receivers. So the 105 is still a really juicy area. So once you get to that 107, I think this is like one of those ones where the 27 first is late, you win. The 27 first is mid. It's fair. And if it's early, you're potentially going to lose, but you're still going to get Patrick Mahomes. So it's not something that hurts you.
Yeah, I love it there. I mean, you're getting one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it. 29 years old, coming off a torn ACL. Yeah, not great, but I have faith that team can at least bounce back and be a top-tier playoff team again within 2 years. So I think you're buying into a player that's going to probably play for another 10 years and be a top 8 to 10 QB every single year. So good move here.
He's the type of player that wants to break records. He wants to be one of the greats. You know what I mean? So he's going to play
at least 43,
15. Yeah. He's going to play a long time.
All right. Appreciate the feedback there, gents. Trade 3 here coming from a Spacely Adam submitted through YouTube. He said he needs the wide receiver equivalent show. If you guys don't know, Snoog and Dad just dropped the RB equivalent show. Listen to it in the shower last night. Great there to see if you have rookie picks, which veterans you can buy with each of those picks. And it's interesting this year because outside of the 101 Love, it's like if you need a running back, this class isn't going to be the one to do it. So you're going to want to go ahead and target those veterans with those picks. So check that out if you haven't. He wants the receiver version. Hopefully we got that one on the way soon.
Next week.
But for his question, he owns the 101 and 107. Who should he target? Snoog, he's asking about receiver equivalents, most likely asking about who should he target at receiver with those picks. What do you think?
Yeah, Dad and I both put out a post today. First off, I want to say very underrated factor that you mentioned is listening to it in the shower. That's like the the spot to listen to Dynasty Fantasy Football podcast, by the way. But 101, I think with the 101,
He's
I don't
keeping
really
101
think.
probably.
Yeah, I would keep that. If you're gonna go for a receiver, you're probably gonna have to add to get like a Neighbors or like a JSN or a Puka. Probably add a lot. So I feel like you're better off just taking Jeremiah Love. I don't really love any equivalent for the 101 right now, but 107, we talked about this, Dad. I think this is your range where you can try to get either a contending piece like an AJ Brown plus or, a T Higgins plus or one of those type of guys, maybe a Zay Flowers plus, or you could go the route of like going after a high upside player like a Luther Burden, maybe a Travis Hunter type of player and go all in. Because honestly, like, the 107 feels like a really good pick, but this year especially, I feel like it has a lot less value than it normally does, at least as of right now as we talk. Things could change, always subject to change during draft season, but that's kind of where I'm sitting right now. Dad, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I put out my wide receiver equivalents on Twitter today, and what I'm doing at the 107 is my guys at 103 through 106 are Wilson, Olave, Higgins, and Burden. I'm going to add a little bit to get up to those guys. My guys from 107 to 110 are J-Mo, Devontae, Zay Flowers, and Waddle. And I think those four guys especially, I mean, you're looking at, the Lions are going to have a new offensive coordinator. The Eagles are going to have a new offensive coordinator. The Ravens are going to have a new offensive coordinator, and the Dolphins. I mean, and they're going to potentially have some new quarterback situations. Those are guys that I think we have not seen their ceiling. So those guys, I would be very comfortable with the 107. Maybe you could even get a little bit on top. Love that kind of question. Love when you guys are excited about, different processes that we're doing, because the wide receiver, the running back equivalent show has really popped off. A lot of you guys like that, where you can, again, just ideas where you can trade for, okay, Amarion Hampton for the 102. And right after that show came, I had 3 guys come in and say, hey, I just bought Amarion Hampton for the 102 because somebody's excited about these wide receivers. Good, because you're not getting a running back at 102. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many guys.
Exactly.
It comes back to that damn Jonathan Brooks scenario 2 years ago where people were telling me, man, I took Brooks over Ladd. I took Brooks over BTJ. I took Brooks over Rome. And you're like, dude, no, you can't just stretch for a running back because that's your need. You trade on the cheap end, you get what you need there. Looks like we got our next super chat.
Yeah. Dad, I think your audio is coming through your headphones again.
All right. This one, super chat coming in from Nicholas Paul Meese. Appreciate it here, Nick. He said, thank you, Dad, for helping land Bowers and 108 for JSN and 206. Also, your recommendation for sending Olave for Kyler, Worthy, and a 4th. This is pertaining to my team I posted last week. All right. So it looks like, Dad, I don't know if there's a question going on with this. I think he's just saying, thank you, Dad. A couple trades there he got done. Snoog, what do you think on those? We'll start with the first one, Bowers and 108 for JSN and 206.
Yeah, I like getting the JSN side here, Dad. It feels like a big tier down from the 108 to the 206, but honestly, in this class, I don't mind it enough to go get a wide receiver that was on pace to get damn near close to a 1,900-yard season. I think he ended up with, high 1,700s and over 100-plus receptions, like ridiculous years for JSN. Darnold's there to stay. The offense is just going to get better and better. More chemistry built between the two of them. I like it. I mean, anytime you're turning a tight end into an elite wide receiver 1, I'm not mad about it ever, because I just like patching George Kittle, even though George Kittle just lost his leg. So things are looking sad for me and Dad, but we'll bounce back and find our next George Kittle.
Thank you for pointing that out there. New equipment, everything kind of switches over a little bit. Honestly, this one, I love this trade because we were really close to, JSN and Bowers. I think they have a very similar value. I think what we were trying to do was a 1-2 swap in 2027. That's ideally what we're trying to do everywhere we can.
Yeah.
But I think the 108 versus 206, I think 108 is going to give you an opportunity to trade for a 27 first. People are going to be excited on the clock. I keep talking to guys that say, well, Colston Loveland's getting closer and closer to Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers, let's just put it where it is. If you take all situations aside, Brock Bowers is the best tight end in football, period. Trey McBride had a better season, but Jacoby Brissett just force-fed him. Fernando Mendoza is literally going to make Brock Bowers like
I was just going to say
another damn level. Like, I don't think you're ever going to be able to buy him again after this season. I think this is it. You know what I mean? Like, we saw an elite rookie season that we've never seen before. And then this year, I mean, Geno Smith was the worst quarterback in football. The offensive line was horrendous. The quarterback play was horrendous. I think they have a ton of draft capital. They have a ton of spending, free agent money. They're going to go get an offensive line. They're going to get Mendoza. And I think if they keep him upright and they give him the pocket and they give him the time, Brock Bowers is going to smash tight end records this year. That's in that range of outcomes for him for sure. You know what I mean? So this is your last opportunity to go ahead and try to make those kind of moves. So I think we lost Brock.
I was just going to ask you, Dad, two questions. Is Brock Bowers still your dynasty tight end? One, he's mine. And then two would be, do you think the day Fernando Mendoza is drafted to the Raiders, Brock Bowers flips him market-wise?
Flips JSN?
No, flips Trey McBride.
Right now I have Trey McBride 1 and Brock Bowers 2. And then I think the day after they take a quarterback, I'm going to flip-flop
flips
him back.
Again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like Jefferson Chase.
Where Jefferson Chase used to be.
Yeah.
There's a gap there for sure now. But no, I'm with you for sure. Brock, I thought you didn't like my Brock Bowers take, so you were just leaving.
He's the real Brock.
We got a lot of technical difficulties going on. Dad, then me, Snoog, you're next. So we'll be on the lookout. Trade 4 here coming from Jason Krizan, 1606, submitted through YouTube. We got one side with the 102. Other side is a mid to early 27 first, 201, and a 27 second. Dad, ring it up and explain what you like here.
All right. So here's one thing that I wanted to talk about, and this is why I like this trade. I love you guys asking questions on YouTube. You guys have asked, just on our last 3, the YouTube questions alone have been over 100, and we love that. We want to get as involved as possible. The best way to answer our questions, obviously, is in our Discord, patreon.com/smashaccept. I'll throw that in the bottom here in a second. But Snoog, I mean, every year we talk about trying to trade up. I do not see the 102 even worth an early 27 first. Adding a 27 second, I think we're fair. Adding the 201, like most years, we're talking about to move up from, say, 108, 109 to 102, you got to add a first. But I don't want to add a 27 first, especially not one that's potentially early. This is something that will be crippling, because if that becomes Jeremiah Smith and you just traded for Jordan Tyson and he has an injury-plagued rookie season, or, it's Mendoza and he struggles to stay upright with that offensive line, like, this is one that backfires. So I am insulating like crazy here. I don't care what pick it is. If it's not Jeremiah Love, I am willing to trade back like this and get in an early 27 first. Anything 101 to 105, 102 to 105, give me an early 27 first and a second this year. I'll draft something in the second, and I'll take that pick next year, because that pick is going to be elite. I am all about that. And everybody keeps asking, what's that price to move back? That's the price. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to move back here to anything in that late first, early second, because I think 108 to, say, 202, 203 right now is a very flat tier. And then it's not a sexy tier. It's just a flat tier of solid players, but nothing crazy.
We keep talking about the caliber of classes, 2027 classes. At first, for a bit, it was looking like just an elite wide receiver class with quarterbacks. Like, it was going to be kind of like that 2024 class. Right now, it's shifting more to me towards an elite wide receiver and running back class. Like, I think.
Oh, the running backs.
I think as of right now, there's like 4 running backs that you can lock in as at least round 2 picks or better. Like, I think that the wide receivers alone too, like, there's a couple on Clemson, Nick Marsh to Indiana now, like Jeremiah Smith, Cam Coleman to Texas. Maybe Ryan Williams figures it out and ends up being a stud like he was supposed to be. So there's a lot of good options going around that class right now. There's some good tight ends. The Oregon kid that's there now. Like, this class is going to take a huge leap, even more the closer and closer we get to the draft.
100%.
All right, got a couple super chats here. First one coming from Brian. Appreciate it here, Brian. He said he's sitting good at running back and tight end, but he's weak at receiver. He's got G. Willie, Devonta Smith, Ashton Ginty, Judkins, Hampton, Bowers, Warren, Loveland. Wow, that's insane tight end room. Making any offseason moves for a top receiver or hold tight, because he has 4 firsts next year, Dad. What do you think with this roster and these picks for next year?
This is you crushed the 2025 draft. Like, you absolutely killed it.
Really
you have those 427 firsts. There's so many rosters right now that people are sending me their team, and they have 4 27 first, 5, 6, 7, and then you're just looking at it and you're like, dude, the idea is we want to go ahead and we want to preserve the opportunity for that 101, right? A lot of people are going to want to cash in. They're going to try to jump in early. I think if you take Warren and try to float him out there and get yourself another wide receiver, if this is start 2, I think you're fine with Devonta and Garrett Wilson. I would love to see you use, I don't know what your 2026 capital is, but maybe use a second or a pair of seconds and buy some guys to stopgap or to push back and go all, push yourself towards a retool for 2027. Because imagine if you go ahead and you start to make some other moves here where you deal Hampton for a running back and another 27 first, and Judkins for a running back and another 27 first, and just keep building back. That's how you build a dynasty where you don't lose for 10 years. Like I have a couple dynasties where I had one that just won 4 in a row. When you win 4 in a row, like that's literally taking this from a dynasty, fun little excursion to a investment. Because you win that many years in a row, like think about that. Most leagues that pays for the next 15, 20 years, so you're on borrowed money right there. So I would not tinker too much. If you want to deal a late 27 first and get yourself a Zay Flowers, but I would hold tight right now. You don't need to try to score any points right now. Hold it tight, see what happens, and kick the tires on George Kittle, kick the tires on some injured players as things start to happen, because you're going to continue to build wealth, build it out, and then we'll build it up and take it down in 2027 through 2030, and then you'll be able to start your kids' college fund.
I like that one. Yeah, I mean, I'm on board with that. I think the play is probably move Loveland. I honestly wouldn't even mind if it's just start one tight end, flip Warren and Bowers, and go get like 2 real good wide receivers, especially if you can start multiple. Like take Bowers and go get, I don't know, like a CeeDee Lamb type, or like the other trade, like a JSN, and use a piece to tear up, and then take Warren and maybe Devontae Smith and go try to get a stud, like a Amon-Ra St. Brown type of player or better. Like, I think that could be a good play.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm fine, honestly, keeping any of the tight ends and selling the other 2. I'd probably want to keep Loveland just because he's the youngest, and I think that he's going to gain the most value. I feel like Bowers has already peaked at like a early second round starter pick. I can't really see him ever getting higher than that, even with a crazy good year. But yeah, this team's great. Elite core, good draft capital in 27. This team's going to dominate.
Yeah. Jonas Barrios here with the next super chat. Thank you, Jonas. Should he trade 102, 107, and a 27 first for the 101 and 201? Snoog, what do you think here?
I love this trade. I love it. I'm going to go get Mekhi Lemon 102, and I'm going to take that 107, flip it for another 27 first, and turn this.
I think he's on the other side.
Okay. So
yeah, because he said, should he trade? Yeah, I'm with you. The 102 side is a smash.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because, there's not a gap of a 27 first between the 1 and 2. Unless it's late. If it's late and you're like, I can see a scenario where like your RB2 is DeAndre Swift and you have the 102 and the rest of your team is just absolute dominant wrecker, and you take that 27 first to move up. But This is too much. You're losing a ton of value. I mean, Snoog, the 102 and 107 is pretty fair for the 101, but the 27 first over that 201, not even close. Like I would need if I'm contending on that right side, I would need a Matthew Stafford, a Devontae Adams, something that's fringe first, early second type of value if you're trying to buy that 101. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but what year is it really worth paying up to get to the 101? Like when you have to pay the cost, it's rarely worth it. Like everybody keeps coming to you. Everybody wants the Caleb Williams, the Ashton Genties, the Jeremiah Loves. And I get that, right? Because last year at this point, we would have said, well, this is a smash. Give me Genty on this side. But now you look at it and you would have had Amarion Hampton, Colston Loveland, and a 27 first, or Ashton Genty and, whatever fell at 201, which a lot of times was like Cam Scatterbo. You're just losing. You can't do that. Right now, hold the 101 if you're on the clock, but if you get something like this, I'm taking the 102.
There's not a single draft class since I've started this where you trade the 101 for the 102, 103, 104 plus and not win the trade. Like every single draft class, you would win the trade.
Yeah.
Like even think 23.
When it was Caleb. Yeah,
Yeah.
20. No, Bijan, unless you got Gibbs, was the, if Gibbs,
JSN, though. JSN went like
most
104, 105.
most of the time, Anthony Richardson was going 102, which is crazy.
Yeah, I remember
we had a
him
lot
and
of that in
Bryce.
that area.
Him and Bryce
But
Young were in that top 5 range. Yeah.
hedge your bets and insulate. That's really what we're trying to tell you.
All right, next super chat coming from Fart Kicker here. He said, should he trade Woody Marks for Matthew Golden? He's got Jinty and Chuba at running back, Jamar, JSN, Ladd, Parker, Washington at receiver. Is it worth the upside value over the running back depth, Snoog? What do you think?
This one's close to me. I think Woody Marks is really starting to make a name for himself in this offense. I just really think that they bring a hammer in, like Dave Montgomery type of player. Maybe it's like another Ramondre Stevens. Yeah,
I think he's back this year.
I hope so, but I mean Nick Chubb clearly ain't the answer. But Woody Marks, Golden, I mean the value is probably on the Golden side, taking it over like a 25-year-old, 24-year-old rookie running back.
Mhm.
But Marks looks damn good. Like he looks like he could be a top 24 running back in this offense if he's the starter. So 50-50 coin toss. I think Golden has looked better and better every time we see him get opportunities. So I'm fine taking this upside if you have good RB depth.
Hey, I'm taking Golden. Give him a shot. He looked good in the playoff game. We just
All right,
did
I think
this one.
Yeah, I think he said it on another channel, maybe. All right, this next one coming from Dalton Middlestat. Appreciate the super chat, Dalton. Would you re-roll tight end and trade Laporta
Yes.
for Sadiq?
Yeah. If you can, I mean, if you can get Sadiq's probably going to be the 106. I barely have Laporta worth a first anymore. I mean, 112, sorry, 10, but 112 at the absolute highest. Like, I don't think Sam Laporta is worth a first. I have a lot of guys in the Discord messaging me saying, well, since Laporta's coming back, should I sell Jamison Williams? No, Jamison Williams is an elite talent. Sam Laporta coming off of back surgery. I'm having a hard time with it here. I love
back surgery at 25.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
All right, trade 5 here, submitted through Discord from Big Kahuna. We got Luther Burden, Ollie Gordon, the 108, and a second next year, or George Pickens and a third, Dad. What side do we like?
I told him I like the Burden side. And I think the 27 second is the gap. But I mean, like George Pickens comes back to Dallas, and this is very fair. George Pickens goes somewhere else. I think it's Burden, but I think you continue to see Burden increase in value. I think there's a non-zero chance that Burden and that second get equal to Pickens at some point next year. So I think you almost get a free. Either you're going to get a free 27 second or a free 108 with the way that Burden's playing. Pickens, though, is that guy that I'm trying to buy. So I like the Burden side for value. Again, because the 108 is the only thing that's going to increase in value, because Burden's value, it's capped right now. He's not going anywhere, and you're buying a guy that's playing in the playoffs, which I don't like doing. Pickens value, I think maybe could shuffle a little bit. It could dip if he leaves Dallas. So this is a trade I'm just probably not making right now. It's fair. I lean the Burden side, but I might not make it. Snoog?
Yeah, I agree. I think the Burden side is great insulation. I think it's a little risky, but I think it's a good trade that I'm willing to make. I'm going to take that 108, turn it into a 27 first, and then I'm going to see what I can do with Ollie in that 27 second. Can I go buy a, Devontae Adams? Can I get a Tyreek Hill? Can I get one of these bets that I can plug and play and give me the production somewhat, if not, 50, 75% of what George Pickens is going to give me?
All right, next one coming from Sean P. Submitted to the Discord. He said, should he send the 105 and 107 for the 101 Snoog? Are you willing to pay that?
Yeah, I'm doing that in this class all day long. I think you got to, right, Dad? I mean, you're out of that tier. I think this year you want to be in the top 5, in my opinion, as of today. I feel like that's like there's a clear 5, and then it's like 3 or 4 guys, and then it's like a huge tier of unknown right now, at least for what I'm seeing and hearing. So I'm willing to do that. I think that you get Jeremiah Love, who's the clear-cut best player in this class, and you get off a 107 pick that's not valued like the typical 107.
Yeah, I would do this as well. I do think the 105 is going to be valuable. I think this is like 103 is probably what's fair. 102, I wouldn't do it because I feel like in every league it's going to be different. I think right now the value of all those guys, those 3 wide receivers, is very similar. But one of them's going to go to the Browns, and you're going to be like, bleh. you don't want them. One of them's going to go to a situation we don't like, which is just unfortunately probably going to wreck some value.
Trade 7 here coming from Dynasty Rook 88, coming from Twitter.
These are one of these 3 choices.
Okay, so you could pick either Michael Wilson, a late 27 first, or 201 dad. So those 3 right now. Well, I guess we'll do a keep trade cut with them. What do you think?
I'm keeping the 27 first. I am trading Michael Wilson, and I'm cutting the 201. The 201 and Michael Wilson is like right here. I think Michael Wilson showed us enough that he's not worth a first, but you can't sell him for a second. That's literally where you're at right now with him. Is like he played so well, but it was under like the circumstances that the Cardinals played, right? Like, is Trey McBride going to keep getting that same volume, and Michael Wilson gets that volume, and Marv's not there, and Jacoby Brissett's there, and the defense plays just bad enough that they're going to allow they're going to improve the defense. Maybe Brissett's not the quarterback. Marv's going to be back. There's a lot of things out there. The 27 first is clearly over Michael Wilson. I think he's dead even with the 201. If I'm contending, I'd take a shot on Wilson. If not, I think since Wilson's 25, 26, if I'm not contending, I want the 201.
Yeah, I'm on par with you. Give me the first over everything. Give me Wilson and give me the 201. You can't deny that this dude just had 1,000 yards. Great chance that if he doesn't stay with the Cardinals, he goes out and gets a bag elsewhere with some of these. Imagine him with the Bills. He's what they wanted Keon Coleman to be. Imagine him with the Patriots. It's it's what Matt Collins is trying to do in that offense, right? So it's there's a lot.
He's not a free agent until the end of 2026.
Yeah.
So I wish he was a free agent right now because he would be perfect in that Bills system and he would get paid.
Yeah. Super chat here coming from No Cap Jay. Appreciate it here, Jay. He said, would you trade the 101 for 105 in an early to mid 27 first, Snoog? What do you think?
Ooh, I'm gonna take the 105 here, Dad. That early to mid to me. So I can get eyes on that roster. I really like what I'm seeing.
And this is the trade we just talked about. Is the 105 and the 107. Which makes me, obviously a mid 27 first is worth more than the mid 26 first. We haven't seen that since 2023 to say that that was something that was going to happen. But if that has a chance to be early, and you really got to get your crystal ball out, you got to shine it up, you got to see what's going on there. But I mean, if this has a chance to be early, 105 is still getting you one of these good wide receivers, and then it's giving you a opportunity next year to buy something elite. And at the running, if you really need a running back, the 105, trading for the 105 now, and then on draft day, trading the 105 for Bucky Irving, trading it for, someone in that range, I think is only going to increase your value. When you insulate, I mean, how many running backs right now would you say are worth Bucky Irving in an early 27 first? 2. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Jeremiah Love would literally
3. Yeah,
no more not A-Chain anymore with Mike McDaniel. Yeah. Oh man, I would Bucky in an early 27 first over Genty for me, man.
Yeah. I think Bucky's
he's gonna
chum.
Well, you understand what value is value on that. You know what I mean? But let's keep it going.
Yeah. All right. Trade 8 here coming from Shots Fired, submitted through Discord. He said he needs a running back. Should he offer 108 for Jacobs or 105 for Judkins? Or maybe both, Dad. What do you think here?
So this is something from the Discord where it's like, we just presented this show, right? And we were saying I would buy Jacobs for the 110 and I would buy Judkins for the 106. Here's the tricky part, right? And Snoog, I mean, I want to get your insight on this, but you don't need a running back right now. You just don't. And I think if I had to do this, I would buy Judkins for the 105. If you're saying this or that and I got to do it. But right now, I think when we get to draft day, Jacobs is worth less than the 108. And when we get to draft day, Judkins, we're going to get more information about his knee and everything like that, but he's going to be worth less than the 105. So you don't have to make this trade now, but on draft day, I think you get Jacobs in a second. And on draft day, I think you get Judkins in a third or Judkins and Gainwell. You know what I mean? You get more in there. When you have the rookie pick, it will go up in value. Josh Jacobs, 0% chance to go up in value. Quinshon Judkins, next to 0% chance to go up in value. So hold the picks until we get closer.
Love it. I agree. I agree there. I would prefer Judkins to the 105, but
on draft day, let's say you need a quarterback and Mendoza falls to 5. Mendoza has more value than Judkins. He just does. Yep. So like, but most people wouldn't think it that way at this time of year.
Yep. I absolutely agree.
All right. This trade coming from a Jesse G submitted through Twitter. We got Puka and Stafford. Nice little stack there. Or Purdy and Ibuka Snoog. Which side do we like here on the 2 for 2?
I'm going to take that Ram stack 10 times out of 10. I keep thinking more and more about it. Matthew Stafford's what, 37 years old right now? Yeah. 37, 38, 37. With the way Rodgers and a lot of these guys have been playing, Philip Rivers coming back, I could see Matt Stafford playing for another 2 to 3 years. Like, no doubt about it in my mind. I have no like worry about that at all. With the talent he has, he's playing MVP football at what, 37 years old. Like, if they could just continue to build a good team around him, he's gonna stay. Like,
if he wins the MVP and they win the Super Bowl, does he go out Elway style? That's the only question that's ever there because, like preseason, everybody was talking about his back. He wasn't doing anything in the preseason. This is Puka and Stafford for me, but I think if I'm not all in, if you add a second onto the Purdy side, I kind of like it. Like Brock Purdy is the best super flex value in Dynasty, period.
I can't wait for them to draft the wide receiver 1 or
right
for 1.
They just got to draft the right one.
Justin Jefferson. Imagine Justin Jefferson to the Niners. That'd be unbelievable. Let me
That'd be
dream.
something. Super chat here coming from James Tulin. Thank you here, James. Your guys' help on the JSN Marv trade this season helped him win a ship. Dad said something. Get something extra, and you got Gainwell with JSN. So that's a great little throw in there. Thank you, boys.
Imagine that trade before the season starts. Where you trade Marv for JSN and get Kenny Gainwell's a throw in it. I always say that when I'm talking, and that's in July, Kenny Gainwell was probably like that's a skid mark on your roster, but you're like, just get somebody else thrown in there. And Kenny Gainwell caught 70 plus passes.
Yeah,
there's so many opportunities. You just throw this guy in and get it done. You'd be surprised.
I love that.
Happens almost every single time. Love that trade.
Trade 10 here coming from King Tomb, coming from the Discord. We got CeeDee Lamb or Matthew Golden and the 101 Snoog. First, how far off is CeeDee in the 101? And then does Golden close that gap? What do you think?
I'm taking the 101 here. It's crazy to say. If Golden was like someone even more like that I like I'm just trying to think of like the type of player. Like if it was like I don't know, like
Michael Wilson,
Devontae Adams, a Michael Wilson, someone like that.
It's an early second,
trade, but
the gap's an early second. I don't know if
I don't think no gap.
I don't think you have to trade the 101 right now. The 101 is in startups the 208, and CeeDee Lamb is the 206. If George Pickens comes back, I could actually see the 101 being worth more than CeeDee.
That's
Lamb
what I'm saying. Yep, I agree.
As soon as that's done,
if he's gone, I'm taking CeeDee though.
Yeah, exactly. But CeeDee Lamb is like, if CeeDee Lamb doesn't have George Pickens, he jumps up into that next tier up there. Like he's up there with Puka and with Neighbors, and he's right back up there again. So that's the tricky one here, where it's like you're making that trade now. You really better believe in it one way or another. If you believe that Pickens is gone, go for Lamb. If you think Pickens comes back, go for the 101. I'm with you, Snoog, though. Like it feels like Golden's probably not. I want something that's like right at that fringe, late first, early second range, and Golden's more of the mid right now.
Yeah. Trade 11 from High Seas coming from the Discord. We got Lad or the 103. Snoog, this should be a good one here.
I literally had people showing up at my house with throwing rocks through my windows for saying this last year. Not actually, but this is like, I mean, come on. He's probably worth what? Realistically, the 111, the 112 now at this point. Maybe the 110 with Greg Roman fired.
Probably 9, 10, something like that. It's late.
Yeah,
but I mean,
this is close.
He disappeared in that playoff game again. Like, I don't think you can possibly look at any Charger and think it's a fair indicative of what their talent is with the way that offensive line is. Like, the fact that they were in the playoffs speaks volumes to how good that defense is and how good Justin Herbert is, because that offensive line
will look like a JV playing against varsity. They were just horrendous. So yeah. I put this one in there because I keep seeing trades of like Ladd McConkey for the 104. Give me the 104. I mean, any of those top 6, it's over Ladd for sure. Once you get to 107 plus, then you start to think a little bit, see where you're at. But I want to re-roll the dice. I want to get another fresh opportunity. So I'm with you there.
Yeah. Trade 12 coming from Dr. Kevin Backey, submitted through Discord. We got one side with Judkins, the 101, and a 27 first. Other side, Ginty, Henderson, Kincaid, a couple seconds there this year and next year. Got a lot to unpack here, Dad. Let's kick it over to you. What do we think?
So he reached into my DMs today. He was like, Dad, what do you think of this trade? And I was like, listen, I like the 101 over Ginty. I think the gap between Judkins and Henderson, like you take the 27 second, you take the 212, and you take Kincaid, and that's still not enough. Like Hendo and that, I'd still prefer the 27 first and Judkins. And this is what I always say on these kind of trades with that 27 first. If it's late, it's fair. If it's mid, you win. If it's early, you killed him. You know what I mean? And I believe that much in the 101. I believe that much in Judkins to bounce back. That 27 first really separates it. It's a good trade. I want the Judkins side.
Yep, I want it too. I mean, you get Jeremiah Love to kind of be like that Genty crypto night, and then I think you're turning, Hendo, Kincaid, and some late seconds into Judkins and a 27 first. Great insulated move there.
And I mean, what's the gap between Hendo and Judkins right now? An early second?
Yeah, it's probably something like that. Before the injury for Judkins, they were like damn near back to back. Like I think if Judkins was if you just flipped them, I think you could probably argue Judkins was probably going to be more valuable at that point. Like
the way Ramondre was used again in the playoffs really pisses me off.
He's just doing too good right now. It's like Demont with Gibbs, but Hendo's not Gibbs.
Yeah. Trade 13, B. Cole, submitted to the Discord. We got Jaden Daniels in a second next year, or Purdy, Loveland, 206 and 302 this year. Dad, what do we think here?
Cancel out the seconds. So do you want Purdy and Loveland, or do you want Jaden Daniels? And I think if it's any kind of tight end premium, any at all, I'm taking the Purdy Loveland side. I am such a strong believer in Brock Purdy that every year he's going to finish somewhere in that 8 to 12 range every year. And we're seeing him just the Mac Jones hype unleash Brock Purdy, right? Like Brock Purdy's just playing on another level right now. And I do think there is a lot of upside on that Jaden Daniels side. Like imagine again, talking about this trade a year ago and trying to talk about Purdy and a late first for Daniels. That just wouldn't happen. But Loveland has ascended that much. I'm Loveland Purdy from me. It's pretty close though.
Absolutely agreed.
Snoog says yes.
All day. Yeah, I was agreeing with you as you were going.
We got to get Snoog into these late night C4s so you don't sleep. You know what I mean? We got to get you pumped.
Got to get him on the Swedish Fish. All right. Tone Bone here, submitted to the Discord, is asking Amon-Ra or Rashi in a late 27 first. New. What do we like?
This is the ultimate high risk, high reward type of trade. With that being said, I'm going to lean Amon-Ra St. Brown, but like if everything goes right, buying into the Rashi Rice discount, like you're going to win this trade big time.
2 weeks ago, this is Rashi Rice, hands down. If it's a late 26 first or a late 27 first, if this is a guaranteed 11 or 12, or it's anything 109 to 112 this year, I will pay that to guarantee my stock, right? Because Amon-Ra St. Brown is not going anywhere for the next 3 to 5 years. Rashi Rice, I'm not worried. I'm not aggressively trying to make a move, but if I can tier up to somebody a little bit better, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I like that one. Next one coming from Tay23, submitted through Discord. We got May and Kincaid or T-Law and Brock Bowers. Snoog, I'll hit you again with this one. Which side do we like?
This one's crazy to me. I actually think I told them in the Discord it's Trevor Lawrence and Brock Bowers, especially if it's a heavy tight end premium. I just think the gap between Kincaid and Bowers, like that's crazy. And you're getting a QB that just finished QB4 overall with Liam Cohen and an arsenal of weapons.
Brock Bowers, smash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is testament to a couple of things. One, the 101 in your startup is not worth the same as it was last year. because I think the gap between the 101 and where Bowers goes at like 110 is not that far. The gap then when you look at Trevor Lawrence, who's going in the 3rd round, and Kincaid's going like at the 11th, you know what I mean? That's a huge gap. And Trevor Lawrence's stats, I mean, he was right there. He might have outscored May. They were like 2 and 3 or 2 and 4. Like they were in that same range. So he's only gonna get better with Liam Cohen. I really like Trevor Lawrence right now.
Yeah, really like that one. Trade 16 coming from Toxic Chetty, coming from the Discord. One side we got Drake London, Devontae Smith, and Javonte Williams. Other side is Henderson, Brian Thomas Jr., Tucker Kraft with a half-point tight end premium. Dad, what do we like in this 3 for 3?
This is a weird trade. Let me just preface that. This is a very weird trade. I look at this and I want London slightly over Hendo, but not by a lot. And I want Devonta slightly over BTJ, but not by a lot. And I want Kraft over Javonte. So, I mean, I think it's fair. If I really need a tight end, I kind of like the Kraft side.
Or running back upgrade.
Well, and Javonte is a weird one, right? Because if Javonte comes back to the Cowboys, we said that on the running back equivalent show, he's worth the 112. If he leaves and tests free agent market, I'm not paying a second for him. Like the talent's not that good. It's just his situation. So I think I'm believing in the Hendo BTJ side. I have a feeling there, but this is a very fair trade. And again, probably one that you don't necessarily need to make in January.
Absolutely agree. I think that trading, Travion Henderson, BTJ, and Kraft, it feels like a bunch of evens. I wouldn't even bother making a trade like this. If you need a tight end, try to work in Kraft, try to trade Javonte plus or something like that. Like, I'd rather just keep Hendo, BTJ, or London Devontae if I have them. No need to swap. Maybe if I'm RB needy, I would, but I don't know. Like, I feel like it's so close and such an ugly trade that I just don't care to do it.
Hey, the next one, real quick. Main Mac, we are running for Smash Accept 21. We are running a promotion right now. If you guys want to get in leagues, you got to join the Patreon to do so. But we're running a contest. I said, make a random comment, who your favorite guy that you drafted in this year's class, put it in the YouTube. He put smashed Warren everywhere, thought it was going to play out like Loveland, but oh well. Hashtag Smash Accept 21. Main Mac, congratulations. You are in Smash Accept 21 with myself, and Boat Commish is actually getting in there now. So, it's going to be a fun league. I'm excited to kick that one off. We're going to be drafting that one the week after the Super Bowl, actually. So it's going to be blazing that ADP trail. If you guys are interested in startups, we have startups starting all the time. We're only going to run 4 from Smash Accept perspective, but guys are literally setting them up every single day. They're trying to get things going. There's orphans in there. There's the link down below, patreon.com/Smash Accept. There's the Broc stash. We're back. Everybody's we're going to start selling t-shirts for the Broc stash, I should say. Here's Main Mac's trade.
All right. Main Mac's asking Marv and a 27 first and second, or Jefferson and the 301 Snoog. What do we like?
They're both such polarizing pieces right now. I just can't trade Justin Jefferson. I just can't. I just don't see how you do, unless you're getting such an elite asset back in return and picks. But even Marv himself, I love buying Marv. I think he's super talented, but he just has to prove it. He has to give us that 1,200 plus yard season where he's scoring 10 touchdowns like we want from him, right? And he hasn't done it.
Rebuilding, I would really kick the tires on this one. I would really take a strong look at where that 27 first is. If it's early to mid, I'm going to do it. If it's mid to late, I'm going to stick with Jefferson and just trust that JJ McCarthy comes back and plays better than what he did.
Yeah. Raw Rob 06 submitted through the Discord's got our next question here. Roma Dunze or the 112-212 mid 27 second. I feel like Rome's been the most up and down player over the past year, buying him. Then they draft Luther, stock down. Then he kind of starts the season hot, stock up. And then Loveland and Luther now more involved in the offense. Dad, Rome Odunze's value right now, is this about what you would pay or is this too much?
I think he's worth the 109 right now. So this is literally about perfect. The difference when I look at everybody's what do I do with Marv? Marv sucked since he's been in. Like, there's never been a time where Marv's produced like a wide receiver one. BTJ is interesting because he was a wide receiver one, but now with Trevor, it's not going to happen, right? Lad McConkey was a wide receiver one last year, but this year you're like, dude, it just doesn't look like it's something in the cards. Roma Dunze, when healthy, was a wide receiver one. Those first 5 weeks, he looked fantastic. He got banged up. He was not the same player again. So this year's class does not have anything outside the big three that are going to even be close to Roma Dunze. So I'll kick the tires on Roma Dunze here. I don't think you have to make this trade right now. I think it's very fair, but I would rather have Roma Dunze's upside than anything that falls at that 112.
Yeah, I agree there. I mean, still a young stud receiver, elite prospect in that top 8 to 10 range. You got to buy into him at that cost.
All right. Super chat here coming from Anthony Castello. Appreciate the super chat here, Anthony. He said, what's the most you would add to Marv to acquire Loveland in a 1.5 tight end premium, or should he just trade Marv for Kraft straight up since they're in similar tiers? So I guess, Dad, it boils down to if he has Kraft available, would you do that straight up? Or if you were to want to go ahead, tier up to Loveland, what would that plus look like?
Snoog might not believe this, but someone asked me this in the Discord, and I said, I don't think you have to, but I think Tucker Kraft is a better dynasty asset than Marvin Harrison Jr. right now. Tucker Kraft, before the injury, was on a Trey McBride type arc. Like, he was feasting. And let's be honest, the Packers are not going to draft another wide receiver. They just drafted Golden, so he's going. I think the wide receiver one for them next year is Tucker Kraft when he comes back from injury. I think I would add a first for sure. It's just a matter of what level first, Snoog, to go from Marv to Loveland. Like 106. I think I would trade Marv in the 106 to get to Loveland.
Really? I'm
out on Marv.
Crazy. I think that's crazy.
I have zero shares. I've never drafted him. I've never owned him, and I'm very happy for it because I feel like try to trade him right now. Nobody wants him. I mean, like,
I can't buy him. I've been trying to buy him, and no one will trade him. So
what are you offering?
I'm offering firsts.
Like,
I'm offering rookie
in 27 or like
I offered the 106. Got rejected instantly. Offered 106 in a second. Got rejected instantly.
Loveland,
offered a mid to late 27 first. Got rejected.
Loveland's worth a 102 in this class. In tight end premium. So, like, I would prefer any of the 3 wide receivers in this class over Marv. I would prefer, so Marv's probably worth the 106 in this class.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm taking any of the wide receivers in this class over him. I feel like Carnell Tate's just Marv all over again, but like a way lesser version.
Right, but the idea there.
Tough.
Hold on, no, I'm with you, right? But like
it's
when a guy, it's the reroll. But like, here's the difference: if Carnell Tate puts up 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns, his value skyrockets. If Marvin Harrison puts up 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns, you're like, all right, whatever. He's not going to go up in value. He has to put up. After 2 seasons of subpar play, he has to put
minimum 1,200,
1,500, and 10 touchdowns. Yeah, it has to be 12 to 1,500 plus a boatload of touchdowns. Like, you're going to have to rewrite the narrative there, and in Dynasty that matters to guys. I mean, Brock, are you buying in on Marv at this? Like, we saw what Michael Wilson was. Marv was not even close to that. Like, how do you do that?
So I agree and I disagree with that statement. Because he didn't get many opportunities with Jacoby Brissett, and when Marv played, Michael Wilson was pretty bad. So, like, a lot of it was kind of just backyard football, like garbage time crap, like not realistic.
I hope you're right, because I love Marv Senior and Marv stock. He's there. Those guys that we just talked about, Ladd, BTJ, Marv, Rome. You're either gonna hit huge or strike out, but their value is low right now. Like, it is really low.
I think at least 1 or 2 of them has to be really good. Like,
someone offered me Marvin Rome for Jefferson in a league, and I'm like, there's a ton of upside to swing on that, but there's also like all of them now. All 4 of those guys are at a spot where, like, if they don't produce at an all-pro level, people are going to be just they're busts. It's not going to happen again.
Yeah, the leash is only so long. We had it for Olave, Garrett Wilson, London, these guys taken in the top 10, top 15 of the draft.
Drake London didn't hit 1,000 yards to what, year 3?
But I'm saying, like, dynasty-wise, he was still in that 12 to 15 range, and then he finally produced, and now he's 8 to 12. But Dynasty community, if you have the draft capital, they'll keep
hold
you
their
around in those
value.
rankings.
Yeah.
I think that's why even people are willing to pay up for a Marv or a Rome or someone in that 15 to 20 range right now, just because of the draft capital prospect. We've seen it from Loud already. So those guys are polarizing. Trade 19 from Frankie Franchise submitted to the Discord. We got one side with 107 and a mid to late 27 first. Other side is the 103 Snoog. Would you pay a 27 first to move up 4 spots?
I'm willing to re-roll with this 107 and 27 first here. I think that's good value. I don't really see how you can lose this trade. Maybe you can just take that 107 and go get like a Zay Flowers or a Jamison Williams or a T. Higgins type of receiver, and then you get a 27 first attached to it. I'm all over that.
Yeah, and that's the thing that people ask. If this is mid, you killed him. If it's late, it's fair. What is the gap to get into that area? If you're sitting at the 107, Snoog, because that's like on the fringe of being out of it, right? What do you have to pay to get to 103? Because if I'm sitting
another late 26 first, like 109 to 111
but
type.
A second's not going to do it for me. I don't even care if it's a 201. I'm not getting out of that elite range from 3 to 5. You're going to have to come in. It's got to be a first.
If I'm 2, 3, or 4,
27.
If I'm 2, 3, or 4 to move back to 7 or 8, I needed 27 first plus to make that trade. But what I would give up is like a 26 first late is what I would give up to get up into there. But
26 or 28. There's so many guys. It blows my mind, but like in our leagues, you trade your first, you gotta pay up. And there are guys that are like, I'd rather trade you my 28 than my 27. Sometimes if you're willing to wait on that, you can get some serious value. Last one here, then we'll spin,
solid.
We will spin the wheel here. So we're gonna give away at least 2 months of VIP Patreon. Let's go ahead and go ahead here with Huncho Jack. And next week's show, guys, we will give away a Smash Accept 21 entry on the Super Chats as well. So let's get the last one on the trade. Then next week, make sure you guys tune in. Get yourself an opportunity, even if you're not in the Discord, to play with us.
All right, this one coming from Huncho Jack. Rebuilding team, Ashton Genty or Drake London. Snoog, what do you think?
Cowbelling for Ashton Genty here.
Yeah.
Drake London's great, but Genty has first-round startup potential with a big year.
And if you're rebuilding, then trade Genty for Hendo or Judkins in a 27 first, and then trade, keep tearing down. You want to build around wide receivers. If it really depends on what area you're at, but if you're starting out a rebuild, you want to build out as far as you can. Trading up for a running back is not how you win in Dynasty when you're rebuilding. Snoog's absolutely right, though. That is the value right now would be on the Ashton Genty side. So let's bring up the wheel here. I'm going to spin it twice. If you guys are already in the Discord, we have an opportunity there to gift you guys a free month. If you guys are not in there, DM me. Do not sign up on Patreon, but DM me on Twitter at Dynasty Dad FF or Snoog at FF Snoog or on YouTube, and then we will send you the link for your gifted month. So let's get it going. Couple new names on there too. Jonas is new. I think Brian's new. All right, we got Brian. Congratulations.
One more.
Last week we had Dom Snoozer one. He jumped in there already. He's starting to get things involved. No Cap J. No Cap J. Congratulations. Guys, every single week we're just going to get more and more into these dynasty trades. Last week we really dropped into some insight on where things were going, what things look like. This week, it was a good show, even digging a little bit deeper. It looks like we got a late
one more super
chat in there. Dynasty 365. What is an insulated trade for Amon-Ra St. Brown? For me, it's Garrett Wilson in a first, or
I like that.
Chris Olave in a first. That's the way I'm going. If you want to tear down further, Luther Burden in a mid 27 first, or T. Higgins in a mid 27 first. There's a lot of opportunity for insulation. We're going to be bringing you a lot of podcasts on how to insulate, because that's literally, you saw what we were talking about, where last year you were trading BTJ for JSN in a first. This year you trade Amon-Ra for Garrett Wilson in a first. There's a non-zero chance that Garrett Wilson doesn't blow up and increase his value into that area. So, guys, again, Another great show. We really appreciate it. I'm going to drop the Patreon link here. Snoog, what's one thing you're super excited about now that we're, into the middle of the playoffs, getting ready for that? A lot of guys are still stuck in that dynasty mentality of, well, the championship just ended, but as we get into this dynasty season, what are you excited for?
The rookie draft guide that we're working on. I'm already getting started on a lot of those, player profiles, breaking down prospects, putting comps together and stuff like that. So I know the three of us are going to crush it as always, like we did last year. We're going to come back even better with a better guide, more info added to it, and it's going to be out sooner than last year. So I'm excited to break that whole thing down, 80 plus prospects that we dive into by position with rankings and all equivalents added into that as well. So super excited to drop that.
There's your link down below for the Patreon. Brock, got to get it. Who's winning the Super Bowl this year?
Oh, man. I did a bracket, and I picked the Rams. And I didn't feel too great about it for a majority of that game, but we'll stick with them. We'll stick with the Rams.
I like that. I'm going Bills, but they didn't. That's just my gut. That's like more my heart than what it actually tells me, because they got a tough matchup with the Broncos. So, guys, it's been a fun show. Thanks again for tuning in, and enjoy the process.